Swedish Sea Kayak Day, Havskajakens Dag, takes place every year on the last Sunday of October. And as the 2024 event approaches on October 27th, it seems like a good opportunity to take a look back at the 2023 event. An exciting paddling day, which gathered 75 sea kayakers from around Stockholm, with a few visitors. And while I have actually shared footage from this event before, from the 2023 event there was a first part which showed the route from Pampas Marina, where the event starts, and to the lunch location at Hundudden. But this part actually shows the way back, starting here at Djurgårdsbrunnskanalen. There was some footage shared, but it was mostly highlights from this part. So this is the first time actually that I show this part of the paddle fully. And as you can see, this location, Djurgårdsbrunnskanalen, is one of the nicest locations actually to paddle, you might say, in Stockholm, especially in the fall with the trees and leaves like this. It's also the side of Stockholm, the east side of Stockholm, which is seawater, and which I would say is less paddled, because on the other side, on the west side, which is freshwater, Lake Mälaren, you have a lot more rental kayaks and kayak clubs, and that means that you will find more kayakers simply on the west side, while it's possible to rent a kayak here on the east side as well, by Djurgårdsbrunnsbron, where we are now, for example. And while it's possible to get your kayak into the water on this side as well, it's not as convenient. So you will see less kayakers here, but not on this day. On this day, back in 2023, we were 75 kayakers and a shark boat. If I recall correctly, there was some forecast for snow, which didn't happen, but it might have scared a few paddlers away. In the end, we had about 3 degrees Celsius, which is just above the freezing point. And while the weather was fairly calm, it's still a bit cold. I mean, this is cold water kayaking, so you'll see all the paddlers in dry suits here. For anyone who's interested in inflatable or folding kayaks, you might note that I'm actually not using a sea kayak here. I'm using a sea kayak-ish inflatable kayak, the Itiwit X500 Strömfit. And to this date, I am still actually the only kayaker that we know that has ever participated in or completed the Swedish Sea Kayak Day in an inflatable kayak, which I've done now 2 years, 2022 and 2023. The first year I really wanted to see whether this was actually possible with this kayak, because the pace is often fairly quick, at least in the beginning during this trip. And it's a long day. Not all kayakers actually paddle 33 kilometers, which is the stretch for the official course during this day. This is a sea kayak parade. I mean, you don't only have sea kayaks, you have some surf skis, there's been folding kayak here and there, and all in all, it's simply a way to showcase kayaking sport. Whoops! Actually, that was close. I came into the current a bit wrong there. So anyway, this is a kayak parade which takes place across Stockholm, central Stockholm.
Ja, där får man lite.
I mean, you get a lot of interest from bypassers and people on shore that will be surprised most of the time by this huge group of kayaks that you only see once a year like this in Stockholm. The year before we actually had 115 kayaks lured out by the great weather back in 2022, I guess. That was a fantastic day and a record number of paddlers. We do have a lot of fun when people participate here. It's a way to come together, you see people you recognize on the water, you meet new paddlers, and of course it's a great way to showcase kayaking to the public. But the 33-kilometer course that is the official track for this event isn't for everyone. It's a long day, and some paddlers I've spoken to during the event in fact haven't paddled 33 kilometers in a day before they come to this event at times. Whereas you also have real experienced paddlers that go much further than that. For a few of us, we actually started a bit further from the starting point. So we actually paddled a bit over 40 kilometers. And then you have some people who choose not to do the full course, starting from Pampas Marina, because they might have their kayak at one of the kayak clubs, in which case they'll do a bit of a shorter route there. So anyway, this is a really great event, and if you haven't done it, if you haven't participated, I would recommend it. It's in Stockholm every year since 1984, actually. It's a classic event that was started by famous Swedish paddler Jim Danielsson. And every year since then, it's taken place. I'm not 100% sure if it's been every year. I think it has. But in any case, it's an annual event, and it's always on the last Sunday of October. And one of the memorable or particularly interesting experiences during this paddle is that both ways you will change between freshwater and seawater. So we're just leaving now the seawater side of Stockholm, and here at Hammarbyslussen Lock you will have all of these kayaks gathering, which is often an impressive sight once everybody's gathered. When it was 115 kayaks back in 2022, this was crazy. But anyway, you change water here, so to speak. Here's the lock opening, and now we are passing into the freshwater side of Stockholm, the west side of central Stockholm. And by now, people are probably after lunch getting a bit tired, because by now we've done about 2/3 of the paddle, and it's time to head to a snack break, which we'll do in a moment at a beach.
Så här, varför är alla på väg åt det hållet? Det där.
It's especially nice when you come to these open areas and you have paddlers gathered somewhat. Some people paddle very quickly and some people prefer to paddle more slowly. So as the day passes, the groups will scatter a bit and then gather up every now and then.
Tydligt, alltså förra året hade vi 115 personer, du kanske var med? Ja. Det här är ju 75 har jag förstått, vilket är helt trevligt. Men det var ju förra året var det ju lyssna kajaker alltså.
So here we are at the snack break location at Tanto Strandbad, and people will gather some energy before continuing. It will be getting a bit dark towards the end.
Ja,
so
vi har sagt att nu avslöjas det. Här har man hört att folk kan vara jätteduktiga och flitiga och paddla 33 kilometer. Här sitter folk bara slöar.
Och fikar.
Ja, det är liksom... ja. Det här är inte det som beskrivs i...
Så här var det inte tänkt.
So we're joking about that, you know. We thought this was a day for kayaking. This is what they told us, but in the end people are just sitting around relaxing and having snacks. What's this all about? But by this point, people have definitely deserved it. There's still a ways to go. But here, after the snack break, what happens is that because people are now heading to different locations, some are heading to the starting point at Pampas Marina, others are heading to different kayak clubs where they have their kayaks stored normally, and people paddle at different pace and might be in a hurry to get back. So by this time, you will have the groups scattering into smaller units, smaller groups of kayakers. And that's the way it tends to be every year. And the sun is about to set here. It's getting a bit darker.
All right, hasta la vista. Hello.
And there's a quick chat and catch up with
Ja, det blir ju inte stiligare än så här alltså. Oj.
And a few of us that helped out a bit on the radio and such.
Ja.
Before heading back.
Ja, det är som du sa, än så länge. Nej, men det är ju bra. Folk hade kul och det var trevligt och socialt och sådär.
Det enda som inte var helt lyckat, det var överfarten på...
Ja.
Yeah, we're basically saying that this was a successful event this year. And now I and a friend here, Jon, we're heading back to a location just west of the official starting point, since we started from there early in the morning. It's a long day, and we're certainly feeling it as we, after 40 kilometers, step ashore here.
Ja, vad stel man är om benen ändå.
So, I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you for that. And if you're heading into Swedish Sea Kayak Day, happy paddles!